hit the Brent, how you doing?
I'm doing good this morning. How are you?
I'm still kind of in my re-entry into work for the year. Um, a little
You and
bit
me both,
slower
man.
this year than a little slower this year than normal, which is actually pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Definitely need to pick things up a little bit. I was gonna say, maybe we should wait till Monday to kick things off instead of doing just a, a one show week. But then I thought, nah, we better get all the bugs and the kinks out before
Yeah.
before we kick off on Monday when the rest of the world is finally dialed into. So
Well, I think we might test this scheduling it a little earlier. Um, Meaning getting the link out on all the live channels the night before. Um, as a scheduled event that we can invite people to once a week and maybe do that on our Thursdays. I don't know. Like everything else, we'll just continue to test different stuff. How was Christmas?
yeah, it was good. Yeah, Christmas was really good. Um, had all the kids in town, and um, yeah, now it's wedding season for us. So kind of the holidays are behind us, and now it's like full steam ahead to March.
How are you feeling with all that?
I'm trying not to feel it.
Oh, okay.
Just
There you
I'm
go.
just I'm just trying to get through it, man.
Awesome.
Just trying to survive. That's it.
Awesome. We put together last I call it last minute. I mean, we got to the point even pretty close, like the week before heading out, where we're like, okay, do we really want to do this or do we want to cancel the trip? But we ended up heading out to Hawaii for New Year's Eve and stayed out there until we got home yesterday morning. So took the red eye out
Cool.
Tuesday night. So again, starting the year out with a red eye is, I guess, a good way to start the travel stuff. But Hawaii is not a bad place to kick off the new year. So that was that
No,
was
not at
that
all.
was
But that's a long flight.
it's
And you do it quite a bit with your son there in school.
yeah,
So
it's we're doing it more than I think we thought we were going to. Each of the past 2 years that he's been there, we've been out twice in the same year. The two times have been a little bit different. It's been like moving him in and then Thanksgiving the first
right,
year, and then last year it was um well, moving him in, and then New Year's, which kind of carried into this year.
right,
And yeah, we'll see kind of how the next little bit goes. But we've kind of figured out our vibe when it comes to doing it too. Like just
yeah,
like getting around the island, doing different things, kind of get into a routine.
yeah. Find the right your favorite hotel that you like, and
Yeah, the ones that's a little bit less expensive than the others, like that. Because to me, yeah, everything's so close, especially when you're in Waikiki. Waikiki is close to Manoa, which is where the campus is. So you need it's better to be in that kind of area.
yeah,
But what you do is you find all your spots that you like. So that ends up being bars at different hotels in it,
yeah,
beyond where you end up staying. But
right.
yeah, it was good.
Restaurants, all that
It,
good stuff. Yeah, where to
it's
go in an emergency.
There's nothing like
Zip
starting
code
the year getting
Walmart.
your well, and you just start the year getting your feet in an ocean every day of the year, up until you leave, which is good.
Yeah.
'Cause we don't have that out here.
Yeah,
We're
well, no, we get connected with the hard clay dirt of the Southwest. You know, we have an interesting thing. I don't know why this just kept, but it's like the donkeys had eaten most of the foliage on the ground because we let them free roam. They're kind of
Oh,
my
okay.
automatic lawnmowers, and and we hadn't had rain forever, so it just been like rock
Yeah,
hard
right.
desert, just rock hard
Yeah,
desert. We finally, all of a sudden, the greens started popping after the very first rains that we'd had
yeah.
in months. And what starts popping up, which I thought was a weed, I took a picture of it, turns out to be dill.
Ah,
Yeah, Grok. I took a picture and put it into Grok, and I said, "What kind of weed is this?" And it says, "That's not a weed." And I'm like, reading more. It says, "That's a spice. That's dill." I'm like, "Wow, we've got dill growing all over the neighborhood. Like it's all over the place. Like 3 feet high, like gigantic. It's like." Yeah, it's crazy. So then of course, I asked Grok, "Hey, how can we make money off of all this dill?"
Yeah, be dill farmers, right? Like, and what'd you find out?
Oh yeah, there's tons of ways to dry it, bag it, sell it at farmers markets, all that kind of stuff, you know. So, but yeah, I'm not going there.
You're not going to be a dill farmer.
I'm not going to be a dill farmer. I think donkeys and an alpaca are quite enough right at this point.
You'd be like picklers. You make your own pickles.
You know, I do know somebody that makes his own pickles.
Yeah.
An entrepreneur here in Phoenix was a tech entrepreneur and decided to get into the pickle business. And I've been following him.
Huh.
And he was the first person I thought of too. I'm like, I wonder if I could just pull up a bunch of dill and send it to him. I wonder if he could use it. You know?
They could tell you, do I have good dill?
Yeah.
What's the quality of my dill?
Yeah. Am I growing it right? I've been working really hard to get just the perfect dill to pop up. Oh, geez. Awesome. All right. Well, Happy New Year, everybody, and welcome to 2026 day one of Live with Brent and Mike, or Mike and Brent, or who are the two guys?
Yeah, old men yell at clouds.
Whose clouds should we yell at today? I also think, I didn't even bring it up, but if we could keep today short, keep it to 30, 35 minutes or so, that would be good for me this morning.
Sure, we can do that.
As our first kickoff, this will be just everybody's re-entry into getting acclimated to the live stream. We did decide to just go Monday through Thursday, just as a heads up for everybody, if you did not see the LinkedIn post or anything like that. So we'll take Fridays off. But other than that, yeah, full steam ahead.
Good morning, Wendy.
We forgot to just talk to the yeah.
It's gonna take us a little bit of time. We're gonna warm up. We're gonna be like, oh, I forgot. We have to click on that chat button.
The chat link in the middle.
See what happens there. The way that I did is I opened up the stream over here and then saw Wendy's comment around time for some canning.
Oh yes. Well, it's like I guess you can dill, but they were saying if you dry it out, is typically how most people use it, and you put it in a little bag.
I think it's part of the pickle piece.
It is part of the pickle piece. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Can the pickles.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, if you use the dill to make the pickles, then you can put them in the can and get this. Gotcha. Okay, yes, so I'm slow this morning. I need another cup of coffee.
See, we're gonna work our way through. We'll make it. Reentry will work. But any craziness? We took off a couple of weeks. Anything happened in the last couple of weeks? Are you seeing anything or feeling anything beyond when we prompt the all-powerful Gemini? But before we do that, anything jump out at you? Any themes, either of posts on social media, stuff that you're seeing out there? I'm actually going to test going live on Twitter here. Not today, but I'm going to do that on.
Push it to X for sure.
I'm going to keep calling it Twitter. Like it hasn't shifted for me.
But I think it's pretty much the same way for everybody. I mean, it's going to be really hard to rebrand that product. It's going to take some time. And I will say, I know you and I we sent a couple things back and forth, I think, towards the end of the year and the holidays and whatnot over the last few weeks. Can't remember what they were.
I'm going through my text.
Can't even remember where I pasted them or anything like that, but they're probably all old news now. And I haven't seen much other than the obligatory yearly recap stuff. I mean, if we want to do just fun stuff, we could talk about the whole Spotify, what do they call it? The wrap up. So the one thing that was interesting was I think Spotify was the one that even started it. At least it seems to be like it. Well, I don't know, maybe not. Maybe it was like maybe it was Apple and their Photos app did a hey, here's a little video of your year in photos or whatever. I think they started doing that. Facebook started doing it, and then the one that really took off because it got shared all the time was when Spotify started doing. Here's your what did they call it? Your wrap up
Yeah,
or
Wrapped. Yep. Spotify
Wrapped,
Wrapped.
yeah.
Yep.
And so then every app started doing it. I think LinkedIn had a Wrapped, and every social app seems to pull together some sort of here's all of your stuff. TikTok did it. Instagram, I think, did it.
Here's the best thing about LinkedIn's Wrapped, at least the one that stuck out for me. LinkedIn, in order to be able to do all of the data and provide the visuals and do all of that stuff, they had to choose a day where they were going to take all that be the end of the year, and the end of the year couldn't be December 31st because they wanted everybody to give the wrapped stuff out a little bit earlier. They wanted to share their
Right.
wrappings earlier. Well, everybody posting their wrapped saying that they had been active on LinkedIn for 344 days this year.
Yeah.
Which you go through, you're like, oh, okay, so LinkedIn, we now know LinkedIn's year ends on December whatever the day ended up being. It's like December like 5th or something like that, 6th. I thought that was pretty good, especially given that LinkedIn's fiscal year, because their Microsoft company ends June 30th. But sometimes you go through and you do these summaries, and people don't think through the implications. Like the year, if your year is going to wrap on December 5th, then your year should have started on December 5th the previous year in order for it to be a 12-month year.
Yeah.
But it was super funny to see people. You saw the first one come up, and then the second one, and you're like, everybody was only active. Did LinkedIn take 21 days off, or did we all take 21 days off? Was there like a glitch or a blip? Maybe Thanos snapped his fingers for 21 days, and we all disappeared. I don't know. So anyway,
the Matrix glitched. Well, oddly enough, and I was totally shocked. Yeah, you came up as my most followed or most connected person in the graphic that they shared, which I was like,
that was another one that I thought was kind of interesting. So then it's there are certain people who, when I'm communicating things with, I'll either use the messaging section inside LinkedIn to share with them, or I'll send stuff to them via text, or actually it's usually direct message or text, right? And people will fall into different categories, and a lot of it's just kind of the way that we work with each other or workflow or whatever.
Right.
But that was another one where you start to see, okay, so now we know that these are the folks who people are. It wasn't the interaction on LinkedIn. It wasn't the likes and that kind of stuff. It was at least based on the way that I interpreted that data, it seemed to be the direct messages that were being sent. How you were using the platform for messaging, not the platform for being social.
Oh, that's interesting. Because I assumed it was just the people that you clicked like the most and all that kind of stuff. But maybe it was, because the way they worded it was the people this is the person you connected with
most. Yeah, connected with most. So
it would be messages. Yeah.
So it might have been weighted. There might have been some weighting there. I mean, in fact, maybe we get someone from LinkedIn on so that they can spill the tea on how the algorithm works and all that other kind of stuff. But
it's the first time they did it, so I'm sure they're going to have to work out some bugs.
The one thing next year, I think more people will be on there for 365 days instead of 344. But given how I've like hammer my family like, hey, I posted something, go out there and like it. Like I would have expected them to at least be in my top 5, and no, it was you, Brent. So Brent, thank you you complete me, Brent. Thank you. Craig, how you doing?
That tracks.
Craig in here.
Good to see you, Craig. Happy New Year. Happy Wendy and Craig both. So
I'm going to send you a text on 2020. Actually, we could. Why don't we do the all powerful Gemini, and then I'll send you this 2026 predictions that you had forwarded to me as something that might be interesting to get into on our first day back. All right.
okay. Oh yeah, because I did send something.
Yeah.
So I'll give folks a little teaser. Something I've been thinking about as far as this news thing goes, and I don't. I've been wanting to do like, and I know we're doing it here,
Yeah.
but we're in the mode of just learning and practicing and trying to figure this out. I asked Gemini this morning to write a script in a news broadcast style format for a show with the content being L&D. I said, be my producer for a morning news live stream. Use the latest news in learning and development as content for the show script. Include any content related to connected industries like HR and compliance as well. Oh yeah, I did ask it that. I said, make the first story breaking news of the day. So
Okay.
and it actually did an amazing job. Having worked in broadcast TV, did spot on. But so I'll try to read it in my best anchor voice. The only bad thing about it is that it didn't give me a link, but apparently it's still the European thing. But let me see if I can follow the script because there's a bunch of camera shots in here too. So it goes, good morning. A massive regulatory shakeup that changes how your company uses AI for training overnight. Plus, new data on the efficiency versus efficacy debate in adaptive learning. I'm Brent Schlenker, and this is the L&D Morning Brief for Thursday, January 8th, 2026. And then it says, camera pull out to medium shot. Anchor leans slightly forward on the desk. We have a packed stream today looking at the intersection of compliance technology and human potential. But we have to start with the story developing out of Europe that has HR and legal departments scrambling this morning. And it says graphic, breaking news, red banner, text, EU Algorithmic Training Act passes, sound, subtle urgent breaking stinger. So I guess that's the dun 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 dun. Anchor, breaking news. The European Union has officially passed the Algorithmic Bias in Workforce Development Act late last night. While we knew legislation was coming, the final text is significantly stricter than anticipated. Starting July 1st of this year, any organization using generative AI to assess employee skills gaps or to automatically generate mandatory compliance training content must submit to third-party bias audits. Furthermore, employees now have a right to explanation, meaning if an AI denies them a promotion pathway based on assessment data, the company must provide a human readable explanation of why. This isn't just an EU issue for any global enterprise. This sets the new compliance baseline. The immediate impact for L&D leaders? You need to get with legal today. If your learning management system uses black box AI for personalized recommendations, you may have a major liability on your hands. The days of set it and forget it AI implementation in HR are officially over. Let's go to our expert, Mike Simmons, and see what he has to say on the matter.
God, wouldn't it be nice if we could go back into the day where there wasn't this much legislation around this stuff and we could just have fun with the tools? Like that's awesome. Wow.
I know I don't know what to tell you, Brent.
And but it's so there are two things, two places my brain goes on this. Number one, I think it's pretty cool to hear the whole like production piece, like do this kind of shot, then do this kind of shot, add in this clip of whatever. Like,
oh, dude, yeah, it is like it yeah.
Like I have no.
If you've never been in a newsroom, it's yeah.
I have no concept for the choreography of
Yeah,
and
it is.
orchestration of that kind of
I
stuff.
yeah. I mean, it's just like it takes me back. Well, as soon as I started reading that, so it should go into a teleprompter, right? And so I'm looking off to the side, and so I'm not reading it right, like an a true anchor would, because I'm not looking right in the camera, and I don't have the teleprompter there, and I'm not reading it. But yeah, those you should watch. Uh,
Anchorman, like
uh,
I'm Ron Burgundy.
no, there's a
That's
much
not how
better
it goes.
There's a much better movie in the 80s, and I wanna say that it was called Broadcast News, but that's the
Hmm.
HBO show, I think.
Hmm.
What the heck was it called? Um, oh my gosh, somebody in the chat, um, story about, news in the 80s, um, movie about news in the 80s. Anyways, yeah, if you would, it's like legit. It's like the whole behind the scenes, how the broadcast, about the behind the scenes, where the producer sits, where the director sits, who's doing all the graphics, the lower thirds, putting in the story tapes, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, the movie is it's a legit depiction of how it all works. But anyways, yeah. So if you're interested in that,
So what stood out to you? Um, oh, that you guys were supposed to watch. Man, this is where we need like a little fact checker in the background. You're like on December 15th,
I
the
actually wrote down those movies to tell you the truth.
yeah, but where?
Because I know, right? Because I was going to watch it. Nope, it's not that one. Oh well, yeah, I don't
Uh,
remember. Um, but yeah, there were two movies. One was not good, but worth watching. The other one was really, really good that you both said we should watch.
yeah.
Here's another 3x5 card randomly sitting on my desk. Maybe that has it. But, nope.
There you go. So
Anyways, yeah.
welcome to
So
Brent's world.
yeah. So here, yeah, like here, my thought was always this. It just
Yeah.
as an aside,
Yeah.
and since we're talking about news stuff,
Mhm.
I it always having come from that environment of how fast content can be created and pushed out. Granted, there's a team of people doing it, and not everybody has one. I always thought corporate L&D, corporate training needed to be run like a news station, because we spend 6 months cranking out an e-learning course that barely has more information than what you get on the on the 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. We literally would, in one day, actually it would take, you'd have less than a day. You'd basically have 6 hours
Okay.
to put together a 5 o'clock, a 6 o'clock, and a 10 o'clock news brief. Now, a lot of that stuff gets rehashed, a lot of that content, but in the morning, from the morning to about 2 o'clock,
Yeah.
is when you've got to go out in the field and gather all your stories. Your producers are writing. You're the newsroom's going crazy with all the feeds and the streams from the global news, and watching TV, watching East Coast and all that kind of stuff. And then you just put the whole thing together, and then you're producing a 5 o'clock news program with all the stuff. And I'm like, God, it's a crap ton of content that people push out, that news channels push out. And why does it take us so long to do it? And I get that there's the instructional design piece to it, and we're all that stuff too. But these days we can't afford to be that way. So I'm still waiting for the day that we get better at pushing out content fast. And I think with AI, it's going to start to happen, especially with tools like DeepHow and CoAssemble and these new little AI pop-up companies that we all saw at DevLearn, and that are just, they're popping up all over the place. I think we might sort of get to that point now. But I don't think people are going to really know how to apply it or use it yet. So having sort of a TV production background, I still think is a good model for it. Doesn't have to go exactly the way that it was done in the past, but I think it's a good model. So
Yeah.
Almost Famous. Yes. Thank you, Craig. Holy buckets. That would have driven me crazy.
So I take it you didn't watch it.
I did not watch it. No.
The it's so one of the things that I think is kind of interesting about taking a more production oriented approach to how you get content out in the into the into the into the workplace, or whatever that thing is if the job to be done is to make sure that you are putting your team into the best position to be successful doing the work that they're responsible for doing, right? Like if they need to perform, so that's the outcome that we're looking for, then
Yep.
what are the things that are necessary, the minimum requirements that are necessary in order to help people get into a position to perform? Well, one thing that they have to have is a capability to do something. And capability for me breaks down into two key functional areas. It's knowledge and skill. Do they know what to do? Can they actually do it? So in order to be able to perform, you have to both know what to do and have the ability to do it. So now functionally, if we're working through this production environment where things need to happen really, really quick, it's what's the minimum amount of information that's necessary in order for people to be able to know what to do and be able to do it. And then how do we do that for the largest group of people in context? Because
Yeah.
everybody, we are starting out early and we're all going to talk about learning styles. So everybody has different preferences for how they consume information, and whether or not they will say, well, I'm an auditory learner, and then someone will joke around like me. It will say, well, touch a hot stove. Did you wait for the stove to say something to you before you learn to
Your
move
your
your
first
hand?
your first choice of words were perfect. Your preferences. Everybody's consuming. They have content consumption preferences, and we'll leave it at that.
So then now you can kind of input into the machine. All right, well, hey, how do I want to receive this stuff? Do I want
Yeah.
quick bits of audio that come to me, once every 20 minutes, or maybe it's once every 25 minutes, like at the end of a Pomodoro, to help me kind of think about the next thing that needs to happen or something to that effect? Or is it
Yeah.
kind of like a video nudge? But then you get into the psychology side of things, behavioral science side of things, and nudge. So how do we nudge people to kind of keep them on track and not let them fall off track? And
Right.
one of the things we've talked about before, and I've got it up here on my remarkable, but it's the game plan. So the checklists there are meant to be, having that on a card is meant to be there for that nudge for you to be able to say, ooh, this shiny thing came in here where, ooh, I
Yeah.
have to watch Almost Famous, but does it actually align with my broader objectives, the things I'm looking to accomplish? If yes, then go watch Almost Famous. If no, push it to the side, take care of your actual work. Don't get distracted. Stay focused. And that's where Brent's 3x5 cards play a role.
Yeah.
The
And
problem is when you
and
have 20 3x5 cards, and you don't want to throw any 3x5 cards away because you might forget about something really, really important. But the reality is you're never going to find that really, really important thing. So
well,
there you
this
go.
no, it's perfect. And a couple thoughts came to mind. One, you defined very perfectly, with the exception of you didn't add compliance, but that's really all training can solve. The only problems training can solve are if there's a knowledge gap or if there's a skills gap. That's it. Unless compliance is involved, then we do compliance because it solves the legal issues and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's a super simple equation. Doing your assessment is it you call it capabilities, right? Do they have the capability to do the job? Are they lacking in some sort of skill? Are they lacking in some sort of knowledge? If you can verify that there's a lack in either one of those two things, then yes, absolutely, training is the problem. If they do have the skill and they do have the knowledge, then you know it's something else, and you need to figure out what that something else is. But anyway, so there's that. So spot on, and we need to continue to drive that point home significantly. But from a tactical perspective, I'm getting back into the what's his name, David Allen. Yes, from Getting Things Done.
Yeah.
Here's his chart. It's probably been one of the most. This is a super complicated version of the chart. I like his more the flow chart version of it, but it's definitely one of the processes that has been the most effective for me. Even though I use it and then I don't use it, and then I use it and I don't use it, and I use it and I don't use it. But it's how you deal with input, right? And what you do with it, and everything is input. And that's where the 3x5 cards come in. So I'm trying to use it again. If nobody's had or read the book, Getting Things Done, I would highly recommend it.
So I'm going to take this section to pitch my stuff. And the reason I'm going to do it is because for folks who either have read Getting Things Done or have not read Getting Things Done or have heard GTD, and because some people even say, get shit done, like either one of those kind of views. What ends up happening is sometimes those things can become super overwhelming, right? Like the layout, and this has been one of my biggest challenges over time. And Brent's worked with me in the background to help with like, there's so much stuff that's here, and then I skip steps. But then when I start adding in the nuance and the minutia in individual steps that are not necessary, then I create more confusion, to Wendy's point around overwhelming them with so much information and so much data and so much nuance, where you kind of pull things back and say, actually, what am I attempting to accomplish here? And the thing that I'm attempting to accomplish here is achieving a specific result, a goal. And I'm just going to pull this thing up that I've got in Canva because it's the fastest way to show it. This is the game plan. And if you go through and look at some of the videos, or just go to the Catalyst YouTube channel, or send me a direct message and I'll send you these images. But this is goal, working backward. Goal, I understand what I'm trying to accomplish. Actions, this is strategy, the how. What I recommend here are 3 buckets. And when Jen and I were talking about her game plan around some of the stuff that we're working on, found that like the shoebox metaphor worked a little bit better. Imagine you have 3 empty shoeboxes in your office, and inside those shoeboxes, there are sticky notes that have each of the tasks that you need to get done that align with each of those strategies, the shoeboxes, so that you can stay focused on achieving the goal. And if at a minimum you do those tasks, the check boxes, your to-do list, which many of us have. We have these to-do lists where people typically add more to those to-dos. I add more stuff to Jen, or I add more stuff to Sean, or somebody out in the marketplace says, hey, can you help out with this? Again, no shortage of new things that we add to our to-do list. How do we make decisions and say, no, that doesn't align with my ultimate goal? Let me at least take care of the minimums that I need to do, the metrics that align with the strategy, because I've thought through that process to achieve the objective. And then look at this in the context of 2-week sprints, so that you've got this place where you can adjust it and keep things focused. And the reason I share that in that context is because there is no shortage of new things that you can do to achieve the result that you want. Somebody will have something else, and usually it will be preceded by this word. You should do this, or you should do that.
Yeah.
My view on that, and LinkedIn, I'm sorry for saying it this way, is go fuck yourself. Like, no, there's so much. Yeah. Thanks, production manager. There is so much stuff that's out there that where you get this level of guilt around, hey, you should do this or you should do that. Like, you should follow your macros and track your whatever, or you should wake up earlier, or you should have a morning routine, or you should have an evening. routine, or you should, yeah. And to Wendy's point, scaffolding mentality, it's 3 by 3 mentality. It's not new. There's nothing new except what has been forgotten. There are just different ways that you can help people build their own systems. And that's my objective with that game plan, is people get to build their game plan. There's no right way. There are some wrong ways to do it. And the wrong way to do it is to start with just a to-do list, because that to-do list, if it can't be organized into strategy,
Yeah.
those notes can't be thrown into a shoebox, you're going to get yourself into a situation where you're just all over the place, and you're going to kill yourself through the death of 1,000 cuts of doing a lot of work, but not actually moving things forward. So
I think for me, and I love the game plan. I go through it quite a bit. I'm still stuck with that executive dysfunction of actually going back to my game plan that I've filled in the blanks and executing on it. And that's where the GTD stuff comes in for me. Not to, I think blending both for me.
Yeah.
What the GTD stuff does for me is and I've never really implemented the entire thing, and it's not meant to be implemented in a whole. It's just whatever bits and pieces work. And for me, it's how do you deal with the flood of other information coming in, right? And that flow chart helps you deal with that. So it's like, yes, I'm doing my game plan that I've filled out, and I know I've got that list, but then it's like, oh, hey, Brent, can you make sure the laundry gets transferred this afternoon? Okay, that's an input. I'm going to write that down on a 3x5 card, and I'm going to put it in a spot that is a to-do thing. Oh, by the way, don't forget to make this phone call. Okay, that's another input. Right? I gotta figure out what to do, and then you kind of go through the flow chart and go, okay, what is this thing? Is it less than 2 minutes? Do it right now and just get it done, right? If it's more than that, what is it? Something to be saved for later? Is it something to be filed away? Is it something to be put on the calendar, right? All that kind of stuff. And so that flow chart helps alleviate me overthinking the crap out of things and forgetting things and all of that. So that's the only reason why I bring that up.
So one of the things to think about there, it's really cool to talk through. Now let's take, if you have, we're going to put Brent, put some pressure on Brent to test something. So if you happen to have empty shoe boxes around the house someplace, or some kind of,
dude, do I have boxes? Yeah. This is an issue in our house. I keep the boxes. Linda likes to throw away the boxes.
Yeah. So you might have been raised by my mom too. So you get these, because you never know when you're going to need to use
never know.
You might have to use the box again. And so take 4 boxes just as an example. Put them in your office, and have 3 of them aligned with the strategy that you agreed to for yourself relative to achieving a given goal, whatever that goal is. And then have the 4th one out there for everything new that comes up. And then take, over the course of the day, just put your index cards in those boxes, and and then maybe at the end of every 25-minute Pomodoro, if you use that kind of approach, or whatever time period, then revisit the to-do list box to make some decisions around what do I actually need to do with it. And when you make those decisions, use your 2x2 to do it. So like, is it, and one of them that I shared last week, I think, on some of the video stuff, because I recorded a little bit earlier on some of the whiteboard ones, but is it needed to win? Can it be improved? Is Dan John's performance matrix. Covey's importance versus urgence matrix is one around time management. I've shared before energy versus impact around doing the things you're meant to do. Like lean more toward what builds you up, creates energy, and has high impact, rather than just doing things that either have one or the other. But to have a 2x2 in there so that you accelerate the decision-making process, so that you don't get caught up into, well, actually, you know what? If I do this and then I do that, maybe I can do this, and then I could just, and it's going to make it, and then you get into justification.
Right.
Wendy just put Craig is back, so he can yell at us. I'm going to throw that up there. Craig, we always appreciate the yelling, even if it's time delayed yelling, delayed yelling, because we know that you care, and we know that we're making an impact. It's an emotional charge that happens on your side. Wendy said, I had a recent conversation about planners versus journaling and the difference. That is fascinating. Brent, are you a planner? Do you use a daily planner, or do you use a journal, or do you use either one of those
Oh,
kind of things?
dude, are you kidding me? Look who you're asking. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I wish on both of those,
Why
right?
do you wish?
I don't know, because I always hear it's important to use a good planner.
Oh, you should.
I think I have one sitting on a desk somewhere.
You
I don't
should.
know, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, I think this is a good spot for us to wrap. Because you've given me tasks and things I should go do and
Hit
reminded
four,
me about
do the
all of
four
my
box.
failings. Thank you.
Do the 4 box thing and let's see what happens with that. Like it's gonna be interesting. I'm pushing Jen through that stuff too.
Yeah,
The
I'll do it. Yeah.
and
Because like I said, I'm trying to get more organized. I'm trying not to drop so many of the balls that I have floating in the air. And that's my goal for this year,
yeah,
is to try to figure that stuff out. So I appreciate all the help and the emotional support from everybody in the chat. And we're going to crush it in 2026.
we're here for you, Brent. Brent, where can people find out what you're working on?
Hey, folks, everybody, just follow us on LinkedIn for now, and yeah, don't forget to just stay in touch. We're going to try to start posting more of these as events, right? Is that what we're going to do so that we can invite
We're gonna
everybody?
do that. We're gonna do that on. I think what we're gonna do is test it on Thursday. So just a reminder to everybody, we're gonna do the daily show is a Monday through Thursday show. Monday through Thursday at 6 o'clock Mountain or Arizona time, which right now is Mountain. That will change, which will be an IQ test for everybody as we as we get into time change, and the we'll get through and we'll be able to go, well, we're gonna do this Monday through Thursday. We're gonna kind of figure out some formatting things. We may actually end up looking at what does it look like if we bring on scheduled
Yep.
guests on here. We're gonna test the crap out of stuff. My objective, being a bit selfish here, is that at the end of every one of these, you have something that you can do.
Oh, yeah, good.
You've learned something, you're thinking a little bit differently about something, and now you have a chance to go out there and do and test some things because you can't reflect on what you're going to do. So
Right.
if we get to that point, now we know the to-do person here, Brent has, he needs to go find 4 boxes and start sorting and filtering his index cards into those boxes, and let us know how that works on that side. But we're going to do this Monday through Thursday. We're going to have a bit of fun. We're going to test some different things. And thank you for being the early adopters on all of this. We appreciate you. I
Indeed.
certainly appreciate you. I want to
I
speak
do
for
too. Yes, very much so. It's the early adopters that are always my favorite people. So welcome aboard. Welcome to the ride.
all right, Brent. We'll see you on Monday. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Indeed, we will.